And we're getting ready for some fireworks, perhaps, maybe not, but we shall see. Coming up, the news at 2 o'clock, from marketwizards.com and eminywizard.com. With a reminder about our risk disclosures. Trading is risky. Use only capital that you can afford to lose, and continue to learn this game before you throw away your hard-earned capital. That's my advice, and I hope you accept it as friendly advice. And it's usually helpful. Got a minute or two to 0 hour. Usually helpful to look at a few charts that have nothing on them. No spaghetti, no nothing. Just to show you some ideas about where the core ranges have been. Zeke, great call. Beginning of the week, you said probably going to be very flat till we get some news midweek. And so far, that's what we've got. We've got some trap traders that were long, that got partially out, but never completely out. And we've got just the opposite too, Got some longs that bought into that, and they're underwater. So we've been trading the range in between here since then, but with one exception, that 34 high that was done in Globex. Do not feel compelled to do anything. We're looking for sensible trades that make sense. We're trying to read the tape and never make it about any one trade. It is about risk and reward and finding opportunities. We already know the ranges we expect to do business in, depending on the action, and then we're looking for reaction. And mark the scene of the crime right near where we thought it was, the 28 area. And we know the first test, long side is going to try to get to 30 and a quarter to the 32. So that's our immediate resistance. We also know we had a 25 and a quarter squeeze pivot, so that will be important. And usually the first few minutes, just like the first couple of minutes in a boxing match, right, where they spar and they jab at each other. The long side has the edge from this morning, and we said so from that first couple of rotations, because we thought the long side would try to get back into this 29 to 30 area ahead of news. It's range type trading right now. Anybody that's in, you're looking for a couple of points. You're not looking for a home run. Much too choppy for that. You already know the resistance zone. That's an aggressive resistance zone. You also know the aggressive support zone. And we'll see who blinks. The Zeke thinks we're going to get a yawner. I'm not sure why, but I trust Zeke's instincts. And the 25 and a quarter low is a support low that we found earlier. We said this would be a squeeze pivot as long as it's intact. And we talked about doing business up to the 32s, and then above the 32s became the good fortune part. It's a gap at 34, remember. And this is typical of Fed up. Anybody at 32s, we talked about that earlier, stops up. We said if you are playing, first objective would be to try to get to that 32 ahead of the 34s. 25, still support. Scene of the crime, 28, still support. Gap fill is at 34. This is like a double top right now. We guessed correctly about those 18 lows as supportive. And I said paid by 20, if you'll remember. Let's use 19 support. This is an example of fed up. I find almost always the market will react up, no matter what the news. It's a knee-jerk reaction, just goes up. That's why I said yesterday, what's up with this? No fed up. Because I've just seen this pattern so many times. And I'm trying to show you, if you understand the market, you don't need a gazillion indicators. Just need to remember the numbers and understand what you're trying to do. I felt this would be a very good chart for us to look at. Hope this makes sense. All right, anybody that is into that 32 to 34, we said a directional move, you've got to give it time. Don't be the first one trying to short a push long side. We already know we had identified this 32.5 as target 1. We did a lot of talking about this earlier today. All right, we're going to switch to a couple other charts. So this chart has really worked very well, this 15 RTH, probing up towards our gap and our double top for now. And normally first pullbacks are buyable. So if you have a chart that you like, then you can always flip this over to a smaller denomination like a 2 or a 3 or a 5 or whatever. But I wanted to see a little bit more of a power chart. That's why I left this on. NQ is rocking and rolling. Keep your eye on that. And almost always it's a reflex move long side. And then you've got to be careful about being wrong way Charlie when you start saying, yeah, let's keep going. And then, they come through you. So all we're looking for right now for newer traders is to understand news trading and how it works. You want to give it a little time. You try to look for logical targets. Make sure you get paid. And the reaction zone is typically where Zeke and I say that you can usually nibble against the push, but you can't go crazy. And really, it's lucky if you get through that bar and go underneath it, because you want to be somewhat conservative. And then you try to remember things like the scene of the crime and whatever. And typically, all you're looking for is to get something out of these swings. Nobody gets every swing. We said, here's our squeeze pivot back here. Scene of the crime, nice symmetry type trade. We use 27.5, 28 as our idea for scene of the crime, which we said it probably would be, right? Why wouldn't it? And the shorts need to undo this bar. This is a big stretch smoke 'em bar. So if you have typically, do the math in your head. If you get yourself a 7-point swing, then 3.5 or 4 points back, good fortune. More than that, terrific. And the push has been from low to high. So we know theoretically pullbacks should be bought, unless it's a gigantic head fake. That we're going to keep an eye on that relationship, because that's support until broken, and then we come back obviously into the squeeze pivot that we identified early. Zeke, nice posts. Zeke warned you guys, don't be the first one trying to jump in. Let's start to play. But this is an example of fed up, no matter what. I like to see the market. Look where we came from this morning. That's a pretty nice trade idea. That shorts are going to want to cover by the time news comes out, and that will cause the push.